जय श्री कृष्ण गुरु जी।
जय श्री कृष्ण। मेरी आवाज आ रही बराबर?
जी आ रही है सर।
आपको प्रॉब्लम तो नहीं है?
नहीं आप ठीक है।
ठीक है, थैंक यू।
प्रणाम गुरु जी।
आई थिंक शुरू करते हैं।
यस सर, विद योर ड्यू परमिशन।
सर आई थिंक 2 minutes आर लेफ्ट, सो
वीसी सर को भी मैं फोन कर लेता हूँ।
वही सर अभी ज्वाइन नहीं किया सर ने।
अच्छा डॉक्टर दीपा,
जी सर।
मेरा कौन से लैंग्वेज में है स्पीच?
सर इंग्लिश।
ओके,
इंग्लिश और हिंदी दोनों मिक्स कर सकते हैं सर।
ओके, ठीक है।
नमस्कार गुरु जी।
नमस्कार नमस्कार, कैसे हैं चांसलर साहब? प्रणाम
प्रणाम जी।
प्रणाम प्रणाम प्रणाम।
सर ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं मैम, शुरू कर दिए।
Yes sir, with your due permission.
यस
And my reverence to all those who are present. I seek your permission to start the great session. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. It is an auspicious day of Kartik month of Hindu calendar. I, Dr. Deepa Joshi, welcome you all to the enriching and enlightening session of Prabodh towards enlightenment. Today, we have Director Govardhan Eco Village, an inspirational speaker and an expert of Vedic knowledge with us. We are blessed to have His Grace Gaurang Dasji Prabhu with us. He will be addressing us on art of happiness. In this journey of soul, may we all be blessed with the wisdom and bliss. Let us all keep our soul to the rescue of Almighty. Lamp lighting symbolizes our great tradition. Tamsoma Jyotirgamaya. May the light of knowledge remove the darkness of ignorance. I request all the dignitaries to please proceed for lamp lighting to seek the blessings of Goddess Saraswati.
शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः। शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः। शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते, दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते। शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः।
Thank you all. संस्कृति, संस्कार और आतिथ्य सत्कार की जननी है. I request Shri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, Chairman, Shri Vaishnav Trust and Honorable Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Shri Devendra Kumar Ji Muchhal, Chairman, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Management Indore, Shri Vishnu Ji Pasari, Secretary, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Management Indore, Dr. George Thomas, Director, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Management Indore, to give a floral welcome to Prabhuji.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Live with joy. Be a part of better world. I request Dr. George Thomas, Director, Sri Vaishnav Institute of Management, Indore, to give a welcome address.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर दीपा। नमस्कार। परम आदरणीय पूज्य ग्रेस गौरंग दास जी प्रभु को सादर नमन। श्री वैष्णव ट्रस्ट समूह के अध्यक्ष एवं श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के कुलाधिपति श्री पुरुषोत्तम दास जी पसारी एवं कुलपति डॉक्टर उपिंदर धर, संस्थान के अध्यक्ष श्री देवेंद्र कुमार जी मुच्छाल, उपाध्यक्ष श्री गिरधर गोपाल जी नागर, सचिव श्री विष्णु जी पसारी, कोषाध्यक्ष श्री मनीष जी बाहेती, सह सचिव श्री शरद जी तुलसियान, श्री वैष्णव न्यास के सम्माननीय ट्रस्टीगण, श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के संयुक्त कुल सचिव डॉक्टर अरविंद सिंह, संस्थान के विभागाध्यक्ष डॉक्टर क्षमा पैठनकर एवं डॉक्टर अभिजीत चटर्जी, कार्यक्रम समन्वयक डॉक्टर दीपा जोशी, उपस्थित समस्त सम्माननीय अतिथिगण, श्री वैष्णव समूह एवं अन्य विद्यालयों के ऑनलाइन उपस्थित प्राचार्यगण, समस्त मीडिया प्रतिनिधि, कार्यक्रम के संयोजक, सभी साथी शिक्षक एवं प्यारे विद्यार्थियों, मैं आज के कार्यक्रम प्रबोध में आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूं। स्वामी विवेकानंद ने शिक्षा की परिभाषा इस प्रकार दी है कि एजुकेशन इज द मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ द एसेंस ऑफ अ मैन। उनके अनुसार हमें ऐसी शिक्षा चाहिए जिससे चरित्र का निर्माण हो, मन की शांति बढ़े, बुद्धि का विकास हो और मनुष्य अपने पैरों पर खड़ा हो सके। आज प्रत्येक अभिभावक अपने बच्चों को सर्वोत्कृष्ट शिक्षा देना चाहते हैं, साथ ही ये ऐसी शिक्षा देना चाहते हैं जो कि उसके सर्वांगीण विकास में सहायक हो तथा उसे वैश्विक परिदृश्य में अपना स्थान बनाने में मददगार हो। मूल्य आधारित शिक्षा तो प्राचीन काल से ही दी जाती रही है, परंतु वर्तमान शिक्षा पद्धति के परिप्रेक्ष्य में जहां समाज में वृहद स्तर पर नैतिक मूल्यों का संकट काल है, ऐसे में मूल्य आधारित शिक्षा प्रणाली की अत्यधिक आवश्यकता है। इसके द्वारा हम विद्यार्थियों को ऐसे दृढ़ चरित्र व्यक्ति के रूप में विकसित कर सकते हैं जो अपने ज्ञान को मानव जाति एवं समाज के लाभ के लिए उपयोग में ला सकते हैं। साथ ही मूल्य आधारित शिक्षा से व्यक्तित्व का विकास होता है। इससे व्यक्तित्व को एक सकारात्मक दिशा मिलती है। अतः मूल्यों का संस्करण मात्र अभिभावकों का ही नहीं अपितु शिक्षण संस्थानों का भी दायित्व है। इसी उद्देश्य को ध्यान में रखकर संस्थान द्वारा प्रबोध व्याख्यान श्रृंखला आयोजित की जाती है, जिसमें विद्यार्थियों के लिए महान विभूतियों तथा विद्वानों के व्याख्यान आयोजित कर उन्हें विभिन्न मूल्यों से अवगत कराते हुए एक समयबद्ध व्यापक दृष्टिकोण विकसित करना है, जिससे कि उनमें सदृढ़ व्यक्तित्व का तथा चरित्र का निर्माण हो सके। इसी अभियान के अंतर्गत प्रबोध के दूसरे चरण में हमें परम आदरणीय पूज्य ग्रेस गौरंग दास जी प्रभु के सुविचारों को सुनने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त हो रहा है। साथ ही उनके व्याख्यान का विषय आर्ट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस आज की आवश्यकता है, क्योंकि हम संपत्ति यश प्राप्त करने के प्रयत्न करते हुए खुश रहना भूल रहे हैं तथा स्वयं के लिए भी जीना भी शायद भूल रहे हैं। गुरुजी, आपकी उपस्थिति से हम अत्यंत गौरवान्वित हैं। आपका हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं। मैं एक बार पुनः आप सभी का प्रबोध में आत्मीय स्वागत करता हूं। धन्यवाद।
Ma'am, please unmute your mic.
Be good to people for no reason. Man who maintains such virtues, Shri Devendra Kumarji Muchhal, Chairman, Shri Vaishnav Institute of Management, Indore. I request you, sir, to please address the audience.
नमस्कार। परम आदरणीय पूज्य श्री गौरांग दास जी प्रभु सुप्रसिद्ध चिंतक एवं आध्यात्मिक गुरु का हार्दिक स्वागत एवं सादर नमन करता हूँ। कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित श्री वैष्णव ट्रस्ट समूह के अध्यक्ष एवं श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के कुलाधिपति श्रीमान पुरुषोत्तम दास जी पसारी एवं सम्माननीय अतिथिगण, सम्माननीय ट्रस्टीगण, पदाधिकारीगण, विद्वान शिक्षकगण एवं मेरे प्यारे विद्यार्थियों, एक अद्वितीय व्यक्तित्व के धनी, अपने विषय के प्रकांड विद्वान सत्पुरुष परम पूज्य श्री गौरांग दास जी प्रभु की ओजस्वी वाणी में सुवचनों का अमृतपान करना अत्यंत ही हर्ष एवं सौभाग्य का विषय है। आर्ट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस विषय पर आपके विद्वत्तापूर्ण विचार सुनने का सुनहरा अवसर आज हमें प्राप्त हो रहा है। आज के विषय की प्रासंगिकता से हम सब भली भांति परिचित हैं। हम सभी अपने कार्य क्षेत्र में, व्यक्तिगत जीवन में कई कठिनाइयों एवं समस्याओं का सामना करते हैं, जो जीवन में सफलता की प्राप्ति के अवसर तो प्रदान करते हैं, परंतु साथ ही चुनौतियां भी खड़ी करते हैं। चुनौतियों का सामना करते हुए तनाव, निराशा इत्यादि हमें घेर लेते हैं, जिसका समाधान होना जरूरी है, अन्यथा यह हमारी सृजन क्षमता को कम करता है। इस हेतु खुश रहना जरूरी है। जिस दिन आपने खुलकर अपनी जिंदगी जी ली, बस वही त्योहार है, बाकी सब तो कैलेंडर की तारीखें हैं। आज हम सभी प्रभु गौरांगदास जी के इस विषय पर सारभूत उद्बोधन का लाभ लेकर अपने जीवन को जीने की कला तथा खुश रहने के तरीकों को सीखेंगे तथा जीवन में अपेक्षित सफलता प्राप्त कर सकेंगे। एक बार पुनः परम आदरणीय गुरु जी को नमन एवं आप सभी का अभिनंदन। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद, जय वैष्णव। नमस्कार।
Thank you, sir. We are glad to have Shri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, Chairman, Shri Vaishnav Trust, Honorable Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore. I request you, sir, to please address us.
नमस्कार। परम पूज्यनीय सुप्रसिद्ध चिंतक एवं आध्यात्मिक गुरु आदरणीय श्री गौरंगदास जी प्रभु जी को सादर साष्टांग प्रणाम करते हुए उपस्थित संस्थान के अध्यक्ष श्री देवेंद्र कुमार जी मुच्छाल, उपाध्यक्ष श्री गिरधर गोपाल जी नागर, सचिव भाई श्री विष्णु जी पसारी, कोषाध्यक्ष श्री मनीष जी भायती, सहसचिव श्री शरदजीत तुलसियान, श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय कुलपति डॉक्टर उपिंदर धर, श्री वैष्णव शैक्षणिक एवं पारमार्थिक न्यास के समस्त ट्रस्टीगण, संस्थान के निर्देशक डॉक्टर जॉर्ज थॉमस, उपस्थित समस्त सम्मान्य अतिथिगण, श्री वैष्णव समूह एवं अन्य विद्यालय से पधारे प्राचार्यगण, समस्त मीडिया प्रतिनिधि, कार्यक्रम के संयोजक, सभी शिक्षक एवं प्यारे विद्यार्थियों, आप सभी का प्रबोध कार्यक्रम के द्वितीय पर्व में श्री वैष्णव ट्रस्ट की सभी संस्थाओं की ओर से हार्दिक स्वागत करता हूं एवं अभिनंदन करता हूं। परम पूज्य आदरणीय श्री गौरंगदास जी प्रभु का मैं विशेष रूप से स्वागत करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं, जिन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम में पधार कर हमें गौरवान्वित किया है। प्रबोध कार्यक्रम मूल्य आधारित व्याख्यान माला है, जिसका उद्देश्य विद्यार्थियों में शैक्षणिक विकास के साथ ही मूल्यों का रोपण कर उनके सर्वांगीण विकास हेतु योगदान देना है, जिससे विद्यार्थी एक अच्छा व्यक्ति तथा नागरिक बन देश के विकास में अमूल्य योगदान दे सके। आज प्रभु जी के व्याख्यान का विषय आर्ट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस है। हम सभी जीवन को खुशी और उल्लास से व्यतीत करना चाहते हैं, परंतु वर्तमान परिस्थितियों में हर व्यक्ति अपने उद्देश्य एवं ध्येय की पूर्ति हेतु निरंतर व्यस्त जीवनचर्या व्यतीत कर रहा है। साथ ही प्रतिस्पर्धा बहुत बढ़ गई है एवं हर व्यक्ति अपने अस्तित्व को प्रमाणित करने की होड़ में शामिल है। यह कई जिम्मेदारियों को वहन करता है। परिणाम स्वरूप व्यक्ति अत्यधिक तनाव एवं दबाव में कार्य कर रहा है एवं अपने जीवन को खुलकर जी नहीं पा रहा है। जीवन एक निरंतर प्रयास है, जिसे सिर्फ काटना नहीं है, अपितु आनंद के साथ व्यतीत करते हुए अंतिम लक्ष्य तक पहुंचना है। अतः प्रभु जी के आज के व्याख्यान का विषय अत्यंत ही प्रासंगिक एवं अति आवश्यक है। आज हम गुरु जी के मुखारविंद से, उनकी ओजस्वी वाणी से, आर्ट ऑफ हैप्पीनेस से जीवन प्रबंधन की सीख लेने वाले हैं। मैं संस्थान के निर्देशक, शिक्षकों एवं कर्मचारियों को इस उच्च कोटि के कार्यक्रम के आयोजन हेतु हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं तथा पूर्ण विश्वास करता हूं कि भविष्य में भी प्रबोध के अंतर्गत ऐसे ही उच्च स्तरीय व्याख्यानों का आयोजन निरंतर किया जाता रहेगा। सभी को पुनः धन्यवाद एवं अभिनंदन। जय हिंद, जय वैष्णव।
Thank you so much, sir. Now I request Dr. Upinder Dhar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Shri Vaishnav Vidyapeeth Vishwavidyalaya, Indore, to please address the audience.
Swami Gaurangas Ji Prabhu, Honorable Chancellor Shri Purushottam Das Ji Pasari, सभी न्यासीगण, श्री मुच्छाल जी, श्री नागर जी, प्रोफेसर पीके सिंह, डायरेक्टर IIM त्रिची, प्रोफेसर श्रीवास्तव, फॉर्मर प्रिंसिपल होलकर साइंस कॉलेज, और सभी गेस्ट और मेरे प्यारे विद्यार्थी, आज का सेशन काफी महत्व रखता है, खास तौर से राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति को ध्यान में रखते हुए। राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 यानी कि 2020 में 29 जुलाई 2020 में 34 वर्षों के बाद रिलीज की गई, जो कि आने वाले 15 वर्षों में, जिसमें से 1 साल तो बीत गया, अगर आने वाले 14 वर्षों में धीरे धीरे इम्प्लीमेंट होगी पूरे देश में। और नई शिक्षा नीति में खास तौर से इस बात पे जोर दिया गया है कि बच्चों की होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट जरूरी है। वो चाहे कोई भी किसी भी सब्जेक्ट का अध्ययन करते हो, वो भले इंजीनियरिंग पढ़ रहे हों या वो मैनेजमेंट पढ़ते हो, साइंस पढ़ते हो, जो भी स्ट्रीम उन्होंने चूज की है, लेकिन होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट होना बहुत जरूरी है। आज के परिप्रेक्ष्य में देखा गया है कि एक स्थिति ऐसी आती है जब व्यक्ति समझ नहीं पाता कि लक्ष्य क्या है जीवन का। क्या जीवन का लक्ष्य भौतिकवाद है, या ज्यादा से ज्यादा प्रॉपर्टी बनाना, वेल्थ पाना, या कुछ और। ये देखा गया है जिनके पास बहुत सारा पैसा है, बहुत सारी प्रॉपर्टी है, संपदा है, लेकिन वो खुश नहीं है। उनको लगता है कि शायद हम सही रास्ते को हमने नहीं पकड़ा, जो कि हमको 20 साल पहले, 30 साल पहले पकड़ना चाहिए। इसीलिए श्री रविशंकर जी ने आर्ट ऑफ लिविंग की बात की कि जीना भी एक कला है, उसमें उसके लिए क्या क्या हमें करना चाहिए वो उन्होंने बताया। और पूरी वर्ल्ड में, खाली भारत में नहीं, पूरे वर्ल्ड में लोगों को जो वो कहते हैं वो रेलेवेंट लगा, उनको फॉलो करने लगे। इसी तरह से कई गुरु है जिनको जो अपने इंडियन फिलॉसफी, इंडियन थॉट को शेयर करते हैं, जिसमें ये अभिप्राय है, जिसमें ये बेसिकली जो निचोड़ है वो ये है दैट संपदा प्राप्त करना जीवन का लक्ष्य नहीं। संपदा प्राप्त करना एक साधन हो सकता है जीने का, लेकिन फाइनली वन नीड्स टू बी हैप्पी। एक आनंद का पाना बहुत जरूरी। अगर पूरा 30 साल 35 साल नौकरी करता है व्यक्ति या बिजनेस करता है, उसके बाद भी खुश ना हो, तो शायद वो लक्ष्य से भटक गया। तो इसलिए हैप्पीनेस, आनंद का कई दार्शनिकों ने, कई फिलोसोफर्स ने बताया कि आनंद को पाना ज्यादा बड़ा लक्ष्य है, ज्यादा बेहतर लक्ष्य है इन कंपैरिजन टू एक्वायरिंग द वेल्थ। लेकिन ये सीखना जरूरी है कि ये हैप्पीनेस और आनंद कैसे पाया जा सकता। ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई स्विच ऑन किया और खुश हो गए या आनंद आ गया। इसके लिए ये भी माना जाता है, ये भी एक कला है, ये भी एक आर्ट है। और वो आर्ट क्या है, वो कला क्या है, उसके डूज क्या है, डोंट्स क्या है, क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए। अगर पतंजलि की बात करें, उन्होंने भी शुरुआत जो वो अष्टांग योग में पहली बात उन्होंने यम की थी, यानी कि व्हाट वी शुड नॉट डू, जो कि हमको नहीं करना चाहिए, एब्स्टिनेंस, जो हमको नहीं करना चाहिए। और दूसरे स्टेज पे उन्होंने नियम की बात की, जो हमें करना चाहिए, ऑब्जर्वेंस, व्हाट वी शुड डू, व्हाट वी शुड ऑब्जर्व। तो देयर आर डेफिनेटली सर्टेन do's and don'ts which we need to adopt. लेकिन कोई भी उन्हें अडॉप्ट नहीं करेगा जब तक वो उसका मीनिंग न समझ पाए, और वो मीनिंग समझाने के लिए गुरु गोरखदास जी जैसे व्यक्ति और महानुभूत है जो ये समझा सकते हैं, जो अच्छी तरह से समझा सकते हैं, सिर्फ बच्चों को, यंगस्टर्स को नहीं बल्कि बड़ों को भी, जो कि उम्र में बड़े हैं लेकिन उनको भी समझने की जरूरत है। कई बार जैसे कहते हैं देर आए दुरुस्त आए, तो देरी होने के बावजूद ये मुमकिन है, ये पॉसिबल है, ये संभव है कि ये आर्ट सीखा जाए और खुशी को निरंतर, आनंद को निरंतर पाया जाए और आनंद में जीवन जिए और आनंद से रहे और दूसरों को आनंद दे। वो ज्यादा एक बड़ा और अच्छा सही लक्ष्य हो सकता है। इसलिए मैं ज्यादा बात इस मौके पे नहीं करना चाहता हूँ, क्योंकि मैं तो प्रोफेसर पीके सिंह की तरह एक टीचर हूँ, एक बार बोलने के लिए कहा गया तो बोलते ही जाएंगे। इसलिए मैं चाहता हूँ कि आज गुरु जी को हम सुने और उसका ज्यादा से ज्यादा लाभ उठाएं सभी लोग, और मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हम सभी लाभान्वित होंगे। धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सर। गुरुजी, हम बहुत अच्छे सौभाग्यशाली हैं आपके इस कार्यक्रम में। आज हमारे साथ डॉक्टर पवन कुमार सिंह, डॉक्टर श्रीवास्तव भी शामिल हैं। उन सबका भी मैं अभिनंदन करती हूँ और आपके आशीर्वाद हम सबके साथ हमेशा बने रहे। नाउ लेट्स कम टू द ग्रेट पर्सनालिटी वी हैव विद अस. We have divine soul, His Grace Gaurang Das Ji Prabhu with us. His Grace Gaurang Das Ji Prabhu is a leadership and mindfulness coach based in Mumbai. He graduated as B.Tech from IIT Bombay in 1993 and quickly found his calling to become a monk. As a monk, Gaurang Das Ji is dedicated to helping people transform their hearts, improve their attitudes, establish sustainable spiritual communities, and drive positive change in society. He is a spiritual, mindful meditation expert, a strategic character, educationist, sustainability and climate change warrior, and a social welfare catalyst with a mission to create a value-based society. Recently, he came up with his first book entitled The Art of Resilience, 40 stories to uplift the mind and transform the heart. And that's the best thing is it is available for us on Amazon. He is an inspirational speaker by his expertise of presenting Vedic knowledge in a contemporary and enticing way. He has spoken in various conferences like TEDx, corporates like Intel, Salesforce, Google, etc. Gaurang Das Ji Prabhu is a governing body commission member in ISKCON, working actively to improve leadership and governance of temples and communities globally. He has also led several youth empowerment initiatives while successfully inculcating clarity in purpose, purity in character, and compassion in relationships within thousands of youths across the world. He sits on the board of Govardhan School of Public Leadership, an institution training future bureaucrats and public leaders. He has coached the leadership at various corporations and given keynote speeches at universities internationally. Prabhuji's mission is to establish academic study of philosophy and Vedic literature in India through the Bhakti Vedant Research Center, which in Mumbai is affiliated to Mumbai University, and in Kolkata has a library of 25,000 ancient books and manuscripts. His Grace Gaurang Das Ji Prabhu is also the director of Govardhan Eco Village, GEV, which was founded by His Highness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. The Govardhan Eco Village, representing India, won the United Nations World Tourism Organization Award in 2017 for its innovative model of ecotourism as a catalyst for rural development. He strategized and led the execution of GV's synergistic solution for sustainable development goals for climate change and enable the GEV's accreditation to United Nations Environment Programme, United Nations Economic and Social Council, and United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification, and winning over 34 national and international recognitions and prestigious awards. On behalf of ISKCON, Prabhuji has also become the counselor for United Nations Environment Programme Faith for Earth. His Grace Gaurang Dasji Prabhu is also an experienced chef and mega kitchen strategist and has personally cooked over 3 million meals. He inaugurated the Govardhan Annakshetra program at the Govardhan Eco Village with an intention to distribute free sanctified food amongst the pilgrims and villages in Palghar district and to work closely with the government, corporates and other like-minded NGOs to enable a hunger-free Palghar. We have such a great personality with us today. Let us all come to the state of mind where we can feel the bliss of divine through the enlightening words of His Grace Gaurang Dasji Prabhu on Art of Happiness. I request Guruji to please bless us all with his words of wisdom.
नमस्कार, प्रणाम। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। So I'm very grateful, Dr. Deepa, for sharing your very generous words of introduction, and my most respected wishes to all the esteemed members who are leaders in this esteemed organization, Vaishnava Institute of Management. The art of happiness is a very important topic in today's day and age. In his famous talk, Dr. Robert Waldinger speaks of lessons from the longest study of happiness done. He begins with the question, if you are going to invest on your future self, where would you put your time and your energy? He describes that in a study conducted amongst millennials, when asked about their most important goals, 80% said goal is to become rich, 50% said to become famous. And so it looks like the whole society has got into this pattern to work to push harder and achieve more. The Harvard study of adult development is the longest study of 75 years of lives of 724 men, asking about their work, home lives, health, without knowing how their journey in future is going to be. Today, almost 60 of the original 724 are still alive and participating in this study. So since 1938, two groups of men were chosen. One went to Harvard and the other was a group of boys from some of the poorest neighborhoods of Boston. They were from very troubled and disadvantaged families, and they were living in hutments. And as a result of this detailed study for 75 years, the clearest message which came out was, good relationships keep us happy and healthy. Can you hear me?
We can hear.
Yeah. So there are three major lessons which came out from these relationships. First, social connections are very good for us, and loneliness kills. People who are more socially connected to family, to friends, to community are happier, healthier, and live longer than people who are less well connected. Second lesson, it's not the number of friends one has, but it's the quality of your close relationships that matter. Living in the midst of conflict is very bad for health, and living in the midst of good, warm, healthy relationships is very protective. And it was found that people who were most satisfied in their relationships at the age of 50 were the healthiest at the age of 80. The third lesson learned was good relationships don't just protect our bodies, they protect our brains too. When people are in a relationship where they feel they can count on the other person at times of need, then such people's memories stay longer and they stay sharper. Sometimes, even if people tend to have frequent arguments, but if they feel that they can count on the other, then it keeps the memory sharper. So, therefore, good close relationships are good for happiness and health. And this is something which all of us feel. It's commonplace. Why does it require an Harvard study to share with us this conclusion? In Ramayana, we see the interplay of complex relationships in the midst of very challenging situations. And so Ramayana describes that the world will always be a mixture of pleasure and pain. To maximize our pleasure and minimize our pain in the face of unexpected uncertainties and calamities is an art. This art is performed and practiced on the basis of the quality of our relationship. To the extent the quality of our relationship is good, to that extent, the experience of joy, satisfaction, and happiness we will feel will be higher. So, Ramayana says that the secret of happiness is when circumstances deteriorate, the quality of your relationships grow. And for the quality of your relationships to grow, there are specific qualities which are required within each individual so that the quality of relationship can grow. So just as in the Harvard study of adult development, Ramayana also concludes that happiness is dependent on the degree of intimacy and camaraderie and not achievements. Ramayana is filled with examples of personalities who decided to sacrifice their achievements in exchange for preserving the integrity and the quality of the relationships. And this is what we will discuss today evening. What are those 4 qualities which are congenial for our relationships to happen? The first quality is integrity. Lord Ram represents integrity. Dasharath Maharaj performs the Putra Kameshti Yagya, and as a result of this, Kaushalya gives birth to Ram, Kaikeyi gives birth to Bharata, and Lakshman. Kaikeyi gives birth to Bharata. Sumitra gives birth to both Lakshman and Shatrughna. So, a beautiful interplay of these 4 personalities. Ram represents dharma. Dharma means dutifulness. Lakshman represents artha, and he is placed right next to Ram. And artha basically means the wealth of seva or service. And then Bharata represents moksha or freedom from suffering. And Shatrughna represents kama or what should be one's desire. So Shatrughna is completely engaged in serving Bharata. Lakshman is completely engaged in serving Rama. So in society, if artha is used in the seva of dharma and kama is used in the service of moksha, then ultimately the whole society will be peaceful. And that is the essence of Sanatana Dharma principles. That kama, desire, should be directed in the service of moksha. Then kama becomes sanctified and aids the accomplishment of total perfection. And then only when Lakshmana and Shatrughna are properly engaged, this can happen. If artha and kama are allowed freely to integrate and connect with each other, it will create havoc. Therefore, Ramante Sarve janaha gunehi asmin iti Ramaha. Rama is that personality in whom people take delight. Ram is virtuousness personified. And therefore, Dharmagya means one who knows his duties of protecting those who have surrendered unto him. Mitrabhavena sampraptam natyajeyam kathanchana dosho yadi yapyatasya syat satametad agarhitam. Lord Rama makes this statement that anyone comes to me in a friendly spirit, I will never abandon him. Vibhishana literally means one who causes terror in others' heart. Why is his name Vibhishana, although he was not so violent? Because Vibhishana had the integrity and the loyalty towards Dharma, that whenever he would not agree with Ravana, he would speak up very fiercely and strongly. So Vibhishana speaking strongly would be a great cause for Ravana. It would be a great cause of fear for Ravana, because Ravana felt that in the whole of Lanka I can control anybody. I can purchase anybody with all the gold of Lanka. I can, out of fear, make people quiet except Vibhishana. And therefore, because he was not in a position to control Vibhishana, he would always be terrified by the presence of Vibhishana. And so, Vibhishana represents that personality who, with upright integrity, questions the decisions taken, challenges the status quo, and puts dharma about everything else. And therefore, when Vibhishan decided, I am going to quit Ravana and jump to Lord Ram and take his shelter, Vibhishana did that. And when Vibhishana did that, Ravana could not believe what he was doing. And then he warned him, but Vibhishana had made up his mind. When Vibhishana finally came at the lotus feet of Lord Rama, Sugriva and many others, they refused to accept him and said, he is the brother of Ravana, our arch enemy. How can we accept him? This went back and forth, and ultimately Lord Rama finally said, Sakradeva prapanno yas tavasmi iti yache abhayam sarvada tasmai dadamye tad vratam mama. I have declared, anyone who comes and takes my shelter, I will offer them shelter. Abhayam sarvada tasmai. And therefore a person who takes my shelter should always remain fearless. Dadamye tad vratam mama. This is my vrata. And in this way, Vibhishana was given shelter by Lord Ram. Although Vibhishana was the brother of Ram's arch enemy, his name was Ravana, but still Lord Ram had such integrity that he stood true to his words, and he offered shelter to even Ravana's own brother Vibhishana. Lakshman represents service attitude. The second quality required for sustainable, intense, deep relationships is service attitude. What does service attitude mean? Sarva priyakarastasya ramasya pi sharirata lakshmano lakshmi sampanna bahirprana ivapara. So it is said that Lakshman had his priority. And what was Lakshman's priority? Lakshmano lakshmi sampanna bahirprana ivapara. He was endowed with the prosperity of service to Lord Rama. Lakshman never aspired for any material opulence or power. Lakshman has declined the position of being the prince. From his childhood, Lakshman only aspired for inseparable association with Lord Rama and unbroken service to him. Bhavagyena kritagyena dharmagyena cha Lakshmana Tvaya putrena dharmatma na sambrita arpitam mama. Lakshman demonstrated three characteristics of service attitude. First, bhavagyena, conscience. A dependent should know one's master's mind, words, and use that knowledge in carrying out activities to full satisfaction. When Sita, Ram, and Lakshmana are living at Panchavati, Ram requests Lakshmana to build a cottage. And at that time, Ram told Lakshmana, build a cottage for you and me. And when Lakshmana heard this, he fell at his feet and started weeping. That, my dear Lord, my service is only your satisfaction, and your satisfaction is my only happiness. So therefore, I don't have any happiness independent of your happiness. And therefore, Lakshman was an Ekatma Bhava Sevak. Ekatma Bhava Sevak is one who will preempt what is required, and one who is one with the desire of the heart of the Guru. He does everything to fulfill that desire. He does not want to act until instructed. So therefore, Lakshman had the mood of an Ekatma Sevak, and hence was Bhavagyena, had deep conscience. Bhavagyena, conscience. Second, Kritagyena, competence. Lakshman demonstrated competence by acting with confidence based on previous experience. Lakshman is a prince, and usually princes don't serve other princes. Lakshman builds a spacious and beautiful cottage on the spot chosen by Lord Ram. And without even Lord Ram telling him, Lakshman makes separate beautiful spaces for Sita and Ram to spend time in private. Ram always wanted that, but he was shy to convey. But Lakshman understood that even without Lord Ram having to tell him that. And so he said, Ram looks at this and tells Lakshman, my dear Lakshman, as long as you are there with me, I don't even feel separation from my own father, Dasharath Maharaj. Bhavagyena, conscience. Kritagyena, competence. And Dharmagyena, character. Lakshman had high character of being a selfless servant. He built everything for Lord Ram and Sita, but did not build a room for himself. He stood outside as a guard when Ram and Lakshman saw the ornaments of Sita dropped from the Pushpak Viman, and they were taken by the monkeys at Kishkinda. When Ram sees those ornaments, he faints. He hugs the ornaments, and after recovering himself, Ram shows the ornament to Lakshman and inquires, can you identify these? And Lakshman immediately says, Naham janami keyure, Naham janami kundale, Nupure tvabhi janami, Nityam pada bhavandanat. He says, oh my dear Lord Ram, I do not know Sita Devi's armlets. I do not know Sita Devi's earrings. But I only recognize Sita Devi's anklets, Nupur, because my vision would never rise above her feet. So this was the highest character Lakshman demonstrated in his dealings with Sita. But when Ravana instructed Marich to take the form of a golden deer, and golden deer ran behind by Ram, and then Ram shot arrow at the golden deer, and when the golden deer shouted, hey Lakshman, hey Sita, Sita Devi panicked and told Lakshman, please leave immediately and go and protect Lord Ram. Lakshman said, this is the sound of some demon. Sita Devi said, no, you please go. Lakshman refused. And then Sita Devi spoke such strong words which shattered the hearts of Lakshman. Sita Devi said, I know why you do not wish to go and protect Lord Ram. Because right from the day you have entered this forest, you have only one desire, to enjoy with me. And now you want Lord Ram to be killed so that later you can enjoy with me? And when Lakshman heard this, it was such a piercing thunderbolt upon his heart that Lakshman did not give up his duty even in those circumstances. He drew the Lakshman Rekha and went searching for Lord Ram. And therefore, it is described here that Lakshman had Bhavagyena, conscience, Kritagyena, He had the best kind of competence, and bhavagyena kritagyena dharmagyena. He had the best kind of character, that character which was beyond doubt. And he was always willing to do the needful in the service of Lord Ram. So Lakshman word comes from the word Lakshmi. Lakshmano Lakshmi संपन्न, जो लक्ष्मी संपन्न है वो है लक्ष्मण. तो प्रश्न उठेगा कौन सी लक्ष्मी? प्रभु के चरणों के प्रति सेवा रूपी लक्ष्मी, तो इसको कहते हैं लक्ष्मण. So Lakshman represents service attitude, Ram represents integrity. The third quality required for maintaining a sustainable relationship is tolerance. Bharat represents that tolerance. Maybe someone can mute your microphone, please. So Bharat is Lord Ram's younger brother, and the word Bharata means Bharata Rajya Bharanat Vibharti iti Bharata, one who bears the burden of the kingdom of Ram during Ram's exile. So this was a kingdom which was secured for him by his mother Kaikeyi. But the problem was the circumstances under which this entire kingdom was given to Bharata was that it created suspicion in the character of Bharata. And therefore Bharata means two things. One, who has the tolerance to tolerate infinite pain and burden. So first is, he has ability to tolerate infinite pain, and second, to tolerate infinite burden. So when Kaikeyi conspired and sent Ram to the forest, Bharat was not there. When he returned back, he saw that his father was dead, and when he went to perform the last rites of his father, Vasishtha Rishi stopped him. Is there some disturbance I hear?
No, Guruji. No disturbance from our side, Guruji.
You are audible, sir. Clearly audible.
Yeah, okay. Now some background sound, like a sound of a wave. No? Okay. Maybe you can mute. Yeah. I think it's coming from you, Dr. Deepa. So you can keep yourself on mute. Yeah, now it's gone. So when Bharata went to put the fire on the funeral pyre of his father Dasharath Maharaj, चिता पे जब आग लगाने गए, so at that time Vasishtha stopped him and said, sorry, you cannot do this. Bharat said, why? And he said, your father Dasharath Maharaj, at the time of dying, he said that Bharata has been a co-conspirator with Kaikeyi, and therefore he should not be allowed to touch my dead body. He is allowed to light this fire. He is the most wicked person, and therefore I do not trust him at all. I do not want his wicked hands to touch my body. When Vasishtha Rishi said this, Bharat Maharaj was so devastated, because Dasharath was the person he loved the most, and the person whom he loved the most had departed by speaking such horrible things about his own son. And the worst part was, these were things which Bharat Maharaj was not involved at all. So therefore, when someone curses us or criticizes us, it is painful, but it is even more painful when we have not done that. And therefore, Bharata begins to experience the excruciating pain of misunderstanding. And so, many other Ayodhya-vasis also misunderstood Bharata. Bharata was caught in the quicksand of circumstantial misunderstanding. Kaushalya also suspected Bharat to be part of the conspiracy. Bharata tolerated his pain and clarified his position. And then ultimately, Bharat also had to clarify to many other personalities. And so Bharat Maharaj went directly to he went directly to Chitrakoot and met Lord Ram. And when he met Lord Ram at Chitrakoot, at that point, Lord Ram insisted, "You have to rule the kingdom." Bharat Maharaj refused. And finally, Lord Ram gave his padukas, his slippers. And Bharat Maharaj would bring those slippers and keep it and worship them on the throne. He would get up 1:30 in the morning and go to take a bath in the Sarayu. Why? To avoid being beaten, to be criticized by a vast majority of Ayodhya citizens who would not forgive him. So, the pain of misunderstanding and the burden of leading a group of people who hate you, dislike you, distrust you, and would be happiest to see that you are out of that place. That's a huge burden. Sometimes when you're around people whom you know don't like you, just the presence for a few moments can be suffocating. So therefore, Bharata means one who can tolerate the pain and the burden of circumstantial misunderstanding and accusations. Without defending himself, he accepted the heavy weight of the responsibility of administering Ayodhya. He did not have any desire to do so. Therefore, Ayodhya means that which cannot be defeated. And Bharat Maharaj thus showed exemplary tolerance. Integrity, service attitude, tolerance. Ram, Lakshman, and Bharat. Now we come to the fourth quality represented by Shatrughna, and which is humility or absence of false ego. Shatrughna means one who has conquered his enemy. And what are the enemies Shatrughna has conquered? Shatrughna Nitya Shatrughna Nitah Priti Puraskrita. Shatrughna has conquered his false ego. He did not have any desire of his own. He was fully invested in serving Bharata. Whole kingdom of Ayodhya was criticizing Bharata. All of us have a tendency of becoming influenced by criticism. Kaikeyi got influenced by criticism of just one lady, Manthara. The whole of the kingdom of Ayodhya was criticizing Bharata, but Lakshman refused to be influenced by that. Why? Because Shatrughna was not concerned about how popular Bharata is. Shatrughna had faith that Bharata is on the side of Dharma, and even if the whole world misunderstands him, and even if the whole world misunderstands me, because of me associating myself with Bharata, still, my attachment is not to my ego and my popularity, but my attachment is to get the opportunity to serve the lotus feet of Bharata. And therefore, Gacchata Matulakulam Bharater Tanaga Shatrughna Nitya Shatrughna Nita Priti Puraskrita. Therefore, Shatrughna represents the great amazing quality of humility. Shatrughna was devoid of any sense of false ego, and therefore Bharat Maharaj could engage him at will. So on the 11th of December 2014, United Nations General Assembly resolved to observe June 21st every year as the International Day of Yoga. They mentioned 4 important reasons why they chose this. First, choice. They wanted individuals and populations to make healthier choices and follow patterns of life which will foster good health. Second, control. Global health is a long-term development objective, and therefore it requires closer international cooperation. Exchange of best practices must happen. We must help people build lifestyles which is devoid of excesses of all kind. Third was complete. Yes, yoga provides complete holistic health and well-being. Fourth was communication. They felt by organizing this International Day of Yoga, June 21st, the communication about the importance and the power of yoga will be dissipated all over the world. So therefore, The United Nations resolution encompasses the celebrating of the International Day of Yoga on June 21st to help people make better choices, to have improved self-control by global communication of the practice and the benefits of the yoga to experience complete health. So, can yoga practice actually facilitate balance within the people and between people and the planet? Yes. Patanjali Rishi says, Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Krishna defines yoga as Yogastha Kuru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Balanced in your duty without care to win or lose. Turn your work to yoga as the learned sages do. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturgur matra sangotsva karmani. Always do your work, Arjuna, but do not claim its yield. Neither think yourself in charge or flee the battlefield. And therefore, yoga emphasizes on increasing awareness. So we are discussing about yoga because we want to explore a measurable, desirable, plannable, sustainable methodology by which we can actually develop integrity, tolerance, service attitude, and humility. By doing this, we will be able to have better quality relationships. When the quality of relationships improve, our happiness levels grow. We are living in a world which is filled with smartphones and all kinds of distractions. Microsoft has realized that between 2012 and 2017, the human attention span has gone down from 12 seconds to 9 seconds. The number of internet users has gone up from almost 400 million in year 2000 to 4.62 billion in 2020. But then, only 39% of the world has internet access, but at least 6% of the world population is addicted to internet, which is a very worrying figure. Another worrying factor is almost 12% of the websites on the internet are pornographic web pages. This translates to almost 2.3 billion pornographic web pages in 2018. And so distraction also causes American businesses almost $650 billion per year losses and almost 64% of all the car accidents. The lack of self-control is not just evident in the internet usage, but also in the consumption of addicting substances like alcohol and tobacco. 42% of the adults in the world consumed alcohol in 2010, while the share in India was 15%. Alcohol is responsible for almost 3 million premature deaths globally and 600,000 deaths per annum in India every single year. In the 1900 to 2000 period, smoking killed 100 million people. But now in 2000 to 2100 period, it's going to kill almost 1 billion people. Smoking causes 6 million deaths annually, almost a death every few seconds. So therefore, we are looking at a global population which has a severe lack of self-restraint, self-control. What kind of damage are we causing to human society? Not just human society, the impact on the environment due to such an approach towards sense enjoyment is also huge. Almost 33% of the food produced for human consumption is wasted. And this translates to almost 2.3 billion tons of food waste. And so lack of self-control and lack of discipline, especially over food, is also a major cause of death for almost 18 million deaths due to cancer, due to cardiovascular diseases in 2017. More than 10 million deaths due to cancer, and almost 5 million premature deaths due to obesity. These detailed statistics indicate two clear trends. People across the world have lost their ability for sense control and self-control and are imbalanced physically, emotionally, and socially. People's individual imbalance is also taking a toll on the planet big time in accelerating climate change. What is the solution? People need help in improving their self discipline, self control, and yoga is an excellent means of doing that. If we do not commit to something, we will be distracted by anything. One must not give up a practice because of the time needed to accomplish it. Therefore, habit is a lifestyle to be lived, not a finish line to be crossed. One's commitment to the process will determine one's progress. Disciplined people are better at structuring their lives. Environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Happiness comes not by maximizing our possessions, but minimizing our attachments. Therefore, the value of what we drive doesn't matter as much as the values that drive us. Spirituality and yoga empowers us to reclaim our destiny, to do our best, to try our best, to bring our best, to attain the best. Speak to people to give them peace of mind, not just to give a piece of your mind. We have to be honest, sincere, authentic in our efforts. And therefore, serious practice of yoga transforms the selfish heart into a selfless one. Just because a thought is persistent doesn't make it pertinent. One must learn to peruse the thoughts. Worry is the interest we pay on loans which we have not yet taken. Just reading more books on weight loss will not help us lose weight. Getting opportunities is providence, but grabbing the opportunities is diligence. Our choice has a louder voice than our voice. What we do speaks louder than what we say. If we don't stand for something, we will fall for anything. Not all of us can do great things, but we can always do small things with great love. For every minute we express anger, we lose 60 seconds of happiness. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. And therefore, as Churchill said, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Everybody thinks of changing the whole world. Very few think of changing themselves. And therefore, wealth is the power to choose. Financial wealth is the power to choose how you will spend your money. Social wealth is the power to choose whom you will hang out with. Time wealth is the power to choose how you will spend your day. Mental wealth is the power to choose how you will spend your attention. We must develop the art of getting things done and also the art of leaving things undone. The wisdom of life consists in eliminating the non-essentials. The place to improve the world is first in our own head, hands, and then work out from there. New goals will not deliver new results. New lifestyles will do. And therefore, all our energy should go into building better habits, not chasing better results. And the cost of your bad habits fare in the present, the cost of your good habits fare in the present, the cost of your bad habits fare in the future. Dear friends, please remember there are 3 things which money cannot buy. Fitness. You have to keep fit whether you're rich or not. Second, diet. You cannot pay someone to go on a diet for you. And third is spiritual discipline. You can't outsource someone to look after your soul but yourself. So discipline is the fusion of intention with action. Food adds to our physical weight. Worries and thoughts add to our mental weight. So choose both thoughts and food carefully. And therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Yada deepo nivasastho nengate sopama smrta yogino yada chittasya yunjato yogamatmana. Yogis contemplate the soul with mind always the same, just as lamp in windless places burn with a steady flame. And therefore be detached from your results, not from your goals. Setting goals increases your focus. Worrying about your goals, it takes away from your focus. Therefore, to relish satisfaction, replace expectation with appreciation. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, but loving someone deeply gives you courage. Logic will get you from A to Z. Life can only be understood backwards, but must be lived forwards. Faith is taking the first step where you can't see the whole staircase. Talent hits a target no one else can hit, and therefore, genius hits a target which no one else can see. Attitude is greater than accomplishment. One's flexibility, selflessness, forgiveness, obedience, and dependence on the Supreme in provoking situation makes one noble. This is the essence of yoga, which facilitates harmony, a source of restraint and responsibility within a person, real love and affection between people, a sense of respect towards the planet, and a commitment to reduce, reuse, and recycle in one's lifestyle choices and habits. Therefore, in conclusion, on our topic, the art of happiness, we can say number one, happiness depends on the quality of our relationship. Number two, the quality of our relationship depends on developing integrity, service attitude, tolerance, and humility. Number three, the development of these four qualities very much depend on the consistent practice of yoga and spiritual discipline. I'm very glad that your management institute is called Vaishnava Institute of Management, because it is said Vaishnavera gunagrahi na dekhaye dosh, kay mane vakya kore Vaishnava santosh. Vaishnava means one who is engaged in service without selfish consideration. Your institution is set on the highest principles of selflessness and character, and I'm glad that along with technology and knowledge, you're also giving knowledge of character. So it's an honor and privilege to be invited by all of you. And thanks to Dr. Deepa for reaching out to me and to the top management of your college, and hope that we can connect sometime in person. Namaskar.
We are actually feeling blessed with the wonderful way you have expressed, the way you have explained Dharma, Earth, Calm, and Moksha, Guruji. It's been like we cannot express in words what we have got today with this session. But your permission and permission of all my elders and respectable people, can I please proceed with a few questions, Guruji?
Well, I can take one question.
Okay. So, in your videos and the way you have explained, you have always dealt with short stories. The best way to inspire us, and we are able to understand whatever you feel like should be communicated and conveyed to people like us, Guruji. And that makes a significance on our life system, value system. What has been your inspiration that you have developed this way of expressing yourself with short stories and the way you communicate?
Thank you very much, Dr. Deepa, for that question. I must say that in today's day and age, people have very less, attention span, and they want to come to the essence. So therefore, stories convey the meaning very powerfully. And even during lockdown, people observed that when, last April and May, when Mahabharata and Ramayana were played, which are, 20 to 25-year-old, or 30 years old recordings, productions. And after that, thousands of other serials have been produced. But still, nothing could beat the Ramayana and the Mahabharata in terms of, public emotion. So therefore, all of our ancient tradition and scriptures have also been presented in the form of stories. It is called Puranas. So the Upanishads have been presented in the form of philosophical truths. Puranas have been presented in the form of stories. So therefore, taking from that cue, then we have decided to take some of these contemporary stories and give lessons to that, so that even children and teenagers who are, the future of society, get some proper understanding based on these and then transform themselves. Okay.
Thank you so much, Guruji. A
Thank you,
few
thank
minutes
you.
more. I would request you to please be with us for a few minutes more. I request Dr. Shama Batankar, Head Department of Computer Science, to please propose vote of thanks, and then we'll have national anthem.
Sure. You're on mute, madam.
Thank you. थैंक यू डॉक्टर दीपा. नमस्कार. आज के कार्यक्रम के मुख्य अतिथि वक्ता परम आदरणीय हिज ग्रेस गौरांग दास जी प्रभु जी, श्री वैष्णव ट्रस्ट समूह के अध्यक्ष एवं श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के कुलाधिपति श्री पुरुषोत्तम दास जी पसारी एवं कुलपति डॉक्टर उपिंदर धर जी, संस्थान के अध्यक्ष श्री देवेंद्र कुमार जी मुछाल, उपाध्यक्ष श्री गिरधर गोपाल जी नागर, सचिव श्री विष्णु जी पसारी, कोषाध्यक्ष श्री मनीष जी बाहेती, सह सचिव श्री शरद जी तुलसियान, श्री वैष्णव न्यास के सम्माननीय ट्रस्टीगण, आदरणीय श्री पवन कुमार सिंह जी, आदरणीय डॉक्टर राम कुमार श्रीवास्तव जी, संस्थान के निदेशक डॉक्टर जॉर्ज थॉमस, श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के संयुक्त कुलसचिव डॉक्टर अरविंद सिंह, प्रबंधन विभागाध्यक्ष डॉक्टर अभिजीत चैटर्जी, कार्यक्रम समन्वयक डॉक्टर दीपा जोशी, उपस्थित समस्त सम्माननीय अतिथिगण, श्री वैष्णव समूह एवं अन्य विद्यालयों से एवं महाविद्यालयों से पधारे प्राचार्यगण, समस्त मीडिया प्रतिनिधि, कार्यक्रम के सह संयोजक, प्रोग्राम कोऑर्डिनेटर्स, सभी साथी शिक्षक एवं प्यारे विद्यार्थियों, मैं आज के इस कार्यक्रम प्रबोध के शुभ अवसर पर आप सभी का हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करती हूँ. विशेष तौर पर आज के मुख्य वक्ता परम पूज्य हिज ग्रेस गौरांग दास जी प्रभु जी के प्रति हृदय से कृतज्ञता प्रेषित करती हूँ, जिन्होंने अपने बहुमूल्य समय में से समय निकालकर विद्यार्थियों को अपने ज्ञान से लाभान्वित किया. आपका प्रबोधन सर्वकालिक एवं प्रासंगिक है एवं निश्चित ही हमारे युवा विद्यार्थियों के भविष्य के लिए भी मार्गदर्शक होगा. आपके उत्कृष्ट उद्बोधन से हमारी युवा पीढ़ी मात्र खुश होने की कला ही नहीं अपितु जीवन जीने की कला को भी आत्मसात करेगी, ऐसा मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है. मेरा प्रभु जी से सविनय अनुरोध है कि भविष्य में भी वे हमारे विद्यार्थियों को इसी प्रकार मूल्य आधारित मार्गदर्शन देने हेतु अपना सहयोग प्रदान करें. धन्यवाद गुरु जी. मैं श्री पुरुषोत्तम दास जी पसारी, माननीय कुलाधिपति श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय को सहृदय धन्यवाद देती हूँ, जिनकी मूल्य आधारित दूरदर्शी नीतियों के तहत हमारा संस्थान सफलता के नित नए आयाम गढ़ रहा है तथा निरंतर उत्कृष्टता की ओर अग्रसर है. मैं हमारे परामर्शदाता श्री वैष्णव विद्यापीठ विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति माननीय डॉक्टर उपिंदर जी धर की भी आभारी हूँ, जिनका अनुभवी परामर्श संस्थान को सतत प्राप्त होता है और हमें उत्प्रेरित करता है. मैं संस्थान के अध्यक्ष श्री देवेंद्र कुमार जी मुछाल, उपाध्यक्ष श्री गिरधर गोपाल जी नागर, सचिव श्री विष्णु जी पसारी, कोषाध्यक्ष श्री मनीष जी बाहेती, सह सचिव श्री शरद जी तुलसियान का हृदय से धन्यवाद करती हूँ, जिनके प्रबंधन में संस्थान को हमेशा उत्कृष्ट आयोजनों के लिए निरंतर समर्थन एवं मार्गदर्शन प्राप्त होता रहा है. आपका विश्वास ही हमें हमेशा उत्कृष्ट मार्गदर्शन एवं प्रदर्शन करने हेतु प्रेरित करता है. सभी उपस्थित सम्माननीय अतिथिगण का आभार, विशेष रूप से डॉक्टर पीके सिंह, डॉक्टर राम कुमार श्रीवास्तव, श्री नवींद्र जी तोतला एवं अन्य सभी प्राचार्यगण, जिनकी उपस्थिति से इस कार्यक्रम की शोभा द्विगुणित हुई है. मैं संस्थान के निदेशक डॉक्टर जॉर्ज थॉमस की बहुत आभारी हूँ, जिन्होंने इस मूल्य आधारित सत्रों की संकल्पना की तथा जिनके कुशल नेतृत्व में हम प्रबोध कार्यक्रम की श्रृंखला सफलतापूर्वक संपन्न कर पा रहे हैं. कार्यक्रम की सफलता के लिए प्रबंधन विभागाध्यक्ष डॉक्टर अभिजीत चैटर्जी, कार्यक्रम समन्वयक डॉक्टर दीपा जोशी, सह समन्वयक डॉक्टर नम्रता सोनी एवं सुश्री स्वाति गुप्ता सहित सभी प्राध्यापकों एवं कर्मचारियों की विशेष आभारी हूँ, जिनके द्वारा इस कार्यक्रम का सफल संयोजन किया गया एवं क्रियान्वयन हेतु अथक प्रयास किए गए तथा आशा करती हूँ कि प्रबोध का यह प्रवास अखंड निरंतर यूं ही चलता रहेगा. मैं प्रेस एवं मीडिया का भी सहृदय धन्यवाद देती हूँ, जिन्होंने इस आयोजन का बहुत अच्छा कवरेज समाचार पत्र एवं इलेक्ट्रॉनिक मीडिया में दिया. आपके भविष्य में भी इसी तरह के सहयोग की अपेक्षा है. मैं संस्थान के इस कार्यक्रम के सफल आयोजन में प्रत्यक्ष अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से योगदान देने वाले समस्त व्यक्तियों के प्रति भी आभार प्रेषित करती हूँ. मैं संस्थान के नव प्रवेशित विद्यार्थियों से समस्त विद्यार्थियों की विशेष तौर पर आभारी हूँ, जिन्होंने आज इस सत्र में गुरु जी के व्याख्यान को सुनने का सौभाग्य प्राप्त किया तथा अपेक्षा करती हूँ कि आज के व्याख्यान को अपने जीवन में आप आत्मसात करेंगे तथा अच्छे भविष्य को साकार करेंगे एवं खुशहाल जीवन व्यतीत करेंगे। एक बार पुनः आप सभी का अभिनंदन एवं मनपूर्वक आभार। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Now let us all stand up for national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंग विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्ज्वल जलधि तरंग तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे।
भारत माता की जय। गुरुजी सविनय ससम्मान आपके आभारी हैं, आपने अपना समय निकाला। थैंक यू सो मच गुरुजी। आगे भी हम हमारे कार्यक्रमों के लिए निवेदन है आप हमारे साथ रहें, आपका आशीर्वाद हम सभी पर, हमारे बच्चों पर, हमारे बड़ों पर, वैष्णव परिवार पर हमेशा आपका आशीर्वाद बना रहे। जय श्री कृष्ण गुरुजी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय श्री कृष्ण।
प्रणाम गुरुजी।
प्रणाम गुरुजी।
Now with due permission of
बधाई है सबको, बहुत बहुत बधाई है।
Sir,